Hey, so I got a question from a subscriber talking about whether or not they should make a soft rock phosphate to their farm. They said they had a pH of 8, their total phosphorus is high, but their available phosphorus was low. What's probably happening here is that there's excess calcium in the soil, and that calcium is reacting with that phosphorus, tying it up. So that's how you can have a high total phosphorus, but if all that phosphorus is reacting with that calcium in the soil, because it has a high pH, then your availability is going to be low. So some solutions for this. Firstly, don't apply soft rock phosphate because the soft rock phosphate requires an acidic soil environment to release. And so in this case, if you just apply soft rock phosphate, it's all going to go into your total and you're not going to actually benefit your plants. What we need to do is we either need to bring our pH down to assist with solubilizing some of that locked up phosphorus. That's going to be a bit harder because this is really largely, and I assume this is largely driven by your geology, which means you're probably on high clay soils with potentially a lot of lime or a lot of calcium in that parent material. And so what would be the best strategy, and this is likely to be the most economic strategy, is to use biology to take the phosphorus from the high into the low component. So what we need are a high amount of active phosphorus solubilizing bacteria. What these microbes will do is that they release acid and they release enzymes to break the phosphorus from that calcium apart. Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this and you want to regenerate your farm, you can actually get free recommendations using our Regen roadmap. What this is are the step-by-step ways or stages I like to take my clients through when regenerating their farms. I do this because it reduces the overall risk to them, and farming is risky enough as it is, so we don't need more risk. And so if you go onto a website, you enter your soil carbon content, you'll get allocated to a different stage in the roadmap. At that particular stage, you'll get custom recommendations, a whole training material behind it, and you can get started that way. So you can either get yourself a fancy product specifically containing those microbes, or you can use worm castings. Worm castings pretty much have everything you need from a microbial inoculant point of view. And so if you add either that to your seeds, that will help. Or you can do a soil primer. You could also put it in furrow, depending on the equipment you have. I wouldn't do this as a foliar because what we want are those microbes to get into our soil and to just form a high population in the soil. So around the seed would be most economic. It'll cost like 5 cents or so a hectare. So super cheap to do. Next is a soil primer, which might be more expensive, and if you could potentially do it in a herbicide pass beforehand, say during pre-planting. If you have a pre-herbicide, there's a risk that the herbicide will kill all the microbes. So that might not be the greatest option. Otherwise, you have to do a separate pass. Liquid inject would be a really good way of doing it as well. Otherwise, you could almost do a semi-soil primer foliar application early on in the season. The only problem with that is that it doesn't then release. If you're in a pasture setting, you could either broadcast worm castings out, but that's expensive. What might be a better solution is to inoculate seeds and then potentially direct drill that if you have the equipment. Ultimately, it all depends on the equipment, but from a high-level strategy component, we want to use biology to unlock that high phosphorus into available phosphorus. So we can use biology. We can also try and stimulate mycorrhizal fungi, and that will help take up that phosphorus and solubilize some of this total phosphorus. The other solution while we're building up this, so this might take a couple of years to properly build up, and it depends on your plant health as well as the microbes. So once we have our microbes, we want to increase the plant's photosynthetic ability to then feed our microbes. So while we're trying to build this up, what we can do in the short term is still apply, say, starter fertiliser if you're in that context. So starter fertiliser will just give short hits to the plant to help get established. You can add, say, humic acid, which will reduce the lockup of phosphorus, and so that can be very effective. You can also use something like guano. That might be more effective. That has a high phosphorus buffering index. I would recommend just starting on making the application based on the removal rate, and then as you see, or even maybe potentially below that, and as you see a steady phosphorus flow in your differential subtest, that's when you can start bringing it back. So while you're building up your soil and your plants, you can also do a foliar phosphorus in the meantime. Again, depending on your system and how many passes you want to do. Foliar phosphorus bypasses the soil, so we're not going to lock up that phosphorus. It's going to go straight into the plant and then allow that plant to take up that phos. And so with that foliar phosphorus, really the best way is just to use MAP fertiliser. Yes, it's a fertiliser, but it's cheap. And so you can dissolve that MAP down, add some humic acid to buffer it, and then depending on your system, the GRDC did a trial with wheat, and they found that 2.5 kilos per hectare of phos was quite effective. And so that would be a good one. If you want to use more of an organic solution, you could use liquid guano, but you need a really good agitation in your spray unit. So overall, I would not be making a capital allocation of soft rock phosphate because it's just going to get locked up and not be worth it. At this point, I'm really looking at biology. How do we stimulate biology? And then just alleviate the short-term problems using either a better starter fertilizer program or foliar phos. So I hope that helps everyone else in a similar situation. If you want to apply some of these principles onto your own farm, you can get started with a regen strategy audit. Similar to this, where we kind of diagnose the actual problems on your farm and work out a more biologically friendly and more economic approach. We can do that for you. We go over your farm, your soil test, your sap tests. I'll give you a nutritional recommendation if that's applicable, and the strategies and tactics you need to regenerate your farm. So if that sounds good, you can book one in on our website and we can get started from there. Thanks for watching. My name's Teal. Cheers.